All right, we are live. It'll probably take a little bit for some people to come in, but if anything, they can watch the replay. Hello there. Welcome to, I guess, the first interview on my main channel because I normally do these on my podcast channel. Um, we are joined today by Stephen Moore, the genius. Oops. All right. Something's blocking it up there. But the genius that did this beautiful Sebulba press badge. I wanted to come by your booth, but I was entirely busy like all weekend, so I didn't get to see everything that I wanted to see there. But how are you doing today,
I'm
Mr.
good.
Moore?
I'm doing real good. Yeah, ICCC was pretty crazy. I didn't get far from my booth either, so I totally understand.
All right, so I guess if you want, you can go ahead and tell us about like what got you into art, where we can find you at, and I guess kind of just a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I guess the easy stuff first. You can find me at my website is www.stephenmooreart.com, and I'm at Stephen Moore Art on pretty much all the social medias. So primarily Instagram. If you want to check me out there, that's where most people find me. But it's at Stephen Moore Art on all the social channels. So um, as far as how I got started, I mean, I've been drawing ever since I can remember. I mean, before before I could walk, probably. As soon as I could pick up something to make a mark with, I was using it to draw on anything and everything I could find. So um, I'm a pretty old guy, so I've got lots of years of experience doing that. So yeah, it's pretty much just from birth. I was ready to go and mostly self taught. Um, I did go to art school in Phoenix at the Art Institute. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's primarily just something I was born to do, and that's kind of where my drive comes from. So.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I mean, I I can't do anything close to like the most I can do is like a simple little sketch of Anakin's episode 2 lightsaber. Like I can somewhat get something like that, but for the most part I can barely get stick figures right.
Hey, I mean, not everybody's good at everything, so I mean, it's you got your things. I'm sure that you're good at too. So yeah.
Yeah, the writing like comes natural to me, especially when it comes to like writing Star Wars stories. They just like they just
Okay.
flow so good.
Yeah, that's not in my wheelhouse at all. So there you go.
So this was my first ICCC. Was this like your first time being
Yes.
featured as the badge artist?
ICCC was my first time at that convention, either as an attendee or as a vendor, I guess. It was also my first ever con appearance in an official capacity. So, yeah, ICCC was completely new to me in every way. So, but it was great. I mean, I had an excellent weekend. Got to meet a lot of great people. Just had a lot of fun talking art with everybody, and signed a few badges, some autographs here and there, and just had a really good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wanted to get you to sign my badge and then get Lewis McLeod to sign my badge, but unfortunately, that things
Oh
just
yeah.
didn't work out. But I'm sure there'll be chances in the future.
Sure.
So,
Did you get to meet Lewis McLeod?
oh yes,
Yeah.
my buddy, well, me and a bunch of my buddies were actually like really big into like the Topps trading cards,
Hmm.
and my buddy pulled a one of one
Oh,
Sebulba card
I saw
while
that. Yeah,
Well, yeah, like, it was insane,
that's
like
crazy. Yeah, yeah, he was
but
really cool. He actually came by my booth. My friend Brian Dover was kind of hanging around with Lewis a little bit, and he brought him over to my table, and I was actually able to give him one of my Sebulba prints, and he autographed another one for me, and he was just really cool to hang out with for a little bit, and yeah, it was great meeting him. I'm glad he came to my table because, like I said, I wasn't able to get away very often to go visit with anyone, so So that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I saw a picture with you and Lewis, and I think Rena.
Yeah,
That
Rena.
you played Tom
Yeah,
Wee, right?
yeah, Rena Owen came by also, and um, I just happened to have an original drawing of her character that I was able to gift to her, and she was great. She really loved it, and took some pictures, gave some hugs. We had a good conversation. So looking forward to seeing her again in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
All right, so I noticed a couple Star Wars books behind you. I'm assuming that you like Star Wars.
I love Star
Um,
Wars. Like I said, I'm an old guy. I was there in '77 when it came out. So
I was about to ask the first question I always ask because I love these type of stories is what
mhm.
got you into Star Wars?
Pretty much just going with the family. It was, I didn't know what it was. I was 6 years old. So I just went to the movies that everybody went to. I just had to tag along. And fortunately for me, it was Star Wars, and it blew my mind and changed my world forever. Uh, so I don't really remember much prior to Star Wars. So, I can't really say how it changed me because I've just always known Star Wars. And I don't know a life without it, and I honestly I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm glad it happened the way it did. But yeah, I've got a few Star Wars books. That's only a few of them. So I've got way more than that somewhere around here. So,
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah. Uh I was born in 2000, so technically I'm a prequels era
yeah,
kid.
yeah. I
I
was
mean,
going to
it is
ask you
my
how you.
favorite era, but the
Sorry.
first one I ever saw was A New Hope
Okay.
when Vader and Kenobi are on the Death Star and he's when I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. And the basically like you, I really don't remember much before Star
Hmm.
Wars. I remember watching like maybe the 2002 Spider-Man like maybe a day
Hmm.
before Star Wars, but after seeing Star Wars is like that was pretty much it.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the experience of a lot of people. I mean, there's pre Star Wars and there's after Star Wars, and everything changes. So.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it put a pretty big impact on my life, considering I have all these figures and audiobooks and
Sure.
made an entire Star Wars YouTube channel. So
Hmm. Yeah, it kind of infects everything. It's it's in part of every part of my life. I mean, it's why I'm married to the person I'm married to. Um, our first date was to the re-release of the New Hope back in '97,
oh
and
dude, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, and we've been together ever since. And she supports me in every way. And Star Wars is kind of our thing. So it, it's really been a big part of my life in lots of ways.
Dude, that's really awesome. Like your first date was the re-release of A New Hope. I mean, I'm having trouble trying to get my girlfriend to watch A New Hope.
Well, come to find out, after we went on our first date and got to talking, turns out she was a bigger Star Wars fan than I was growing up. I mean, she had all the toys. She had way more Star Wars toys than I did. Uh, and so, yeah, it was a perfect match.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
See, I just got lucky and I used Anakin's monologue from Attack of the Clones. Not about sand, but like when Padme like rejects him in that black outfit.
Hmm.
Luckily, luckily it worked out and I didn't get rejected. So
Good deal. Yeah.
I got a question here from the chat. My
Oh,
good
sure.
buddy Star Wars Closet. Referring back to since you saw Star Wars back in '77, who shot first?
Oh, Han. No, no question. No question. I mean, yeah, that was. I mean, the whole changing of all that story is kind of a sore spot with me. So definitely Han Solo shot first. What about you? Do you agree or not?
Oh, dude, yes. I've got the 2004 box set, so it is like the special editions, but I did get my hands on a copy of the despecialized edition. So it's got none of the CGI shots. It's like pretty much just like 4K version of what would have came out in 77, and Han shot first. I don't care. It's a lot better than his neck shooting out like 15 feet.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, all
Yeah, I
right.
didn't mind. I didn't mind some of the CGI stuff that they added to the special editions, but some of the story changes they made kind of didn't sit right. But
Yeah,
yeah,
like I don't like Jabba being in like at all for A New Hope. I mean,
right.
it it just kind of ruins it. I mean,
Yeah, we don't need to know everything all the time. Yeah.
yeah, especially he's super small
Mhm.
in A New Hope, and then he's like gigantic. Well, I mean, I guess there's a couple years in between, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's been shown that they do increase in size over time. So I guess it's possible, but yeah, it kind of killed the illusion a little bit.
yeah. Well, since you've been a Star Wars fan for so long, you've encountered multiple eras during Star Wars. Who's your favorite character in all of Star Wars?
Oh man, that's really hard to answer because it doesn't necessarily change, but I have so many that it's hard to pick just one. I know growing up, I always wanted to be Han Solo. So I guess if I had to pick one, it would be Han. But then there's Boba Fett. I love the Jawas. Uh, the new guys, K2SO is one of my favorite characters in anything. And, played by Alan Tudyk, who's just amazing. And I love all his stuff. So, um, yeah, I mean, if I had to pick just one, it'd be Han Solo. Um, but then you got Darth Maul, you got Sebulba, I love Sebulba. I don't know. Greedo's cool. I mean, who's yours? I mean, can you pick just one?
Anakin Skywalker all
Okay.
day, every day.
All the way from Pod Racer Annie to.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But ever since I was a little kid, just something connected with little pod racing Annie, and then you fall into the I guess bandwagon of like, oh, Attack of the Clones Anakin's too whiny and moany, and
Yeah.
then I kind of became a 19-year-old, and being 25 now, I look back at myself, I'm like,
Yeah, that checks out.
yeah, that was pretty accurate. Okay, he did a pretty good job.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just you don't want your characters to act like that, but it's pretty accurate to probably what someone that age would actually be like. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll give him a pass on that. And I love Hayden coming back into the world now
Oh,
as
yes.
as an older actor and just getting the appreciation that he gets now. And I'd like to see Jake get some of that as well.
Oh,
Hopefully,
yes.
hopefully in the future, we'll get a little bit of love for Jake Lloyd out there.
Yeah, I love I mean, I can't lie. It brings tears of joy to my eye every time I see that 2023 celebration video of Hayden getting all the massive cheers. And I love getting I don't specifically get the news updates, but like I'll come across some news updates about Jake Lloyd and how he's doing a lot better, like mentally and like health wise. I'm like, dude, that's good. Hopefully one day we can, I feel like ICCC would probably be like a good stepping grounds if he ever wants to step back
Yeah,
into the world of cons.
absolutely.
But he deserves all the love and praise too.
Yeah,
Because they both did a
the
fantastic
ICCC,
job.
yeah, the ICC crowd would be amazing for him. I mean, so much love and appreciation, and just being comfortable around people. It would be great for him. And um, yeah, I also kind of follow the news updates about him, and I am happy to hear that it sounds like he's kind of getting to a better place in his own life, and hopefully, that can start translating into, more success and visibility in the Star Wars community. I mean, heck, look, Ahmed Best got so much flack for playing Jar Jar, but now he's one
Everybody
of the most
loves
popular.
him.
Yeah, he's one of the most popular con guests out there now. I mean, I saw him at a con last year, and he was amazing and just so good with the fans, and everybody was so appreciative of his time and him being there. It was great. So I hope that for everybody eventually. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
there's such a weird thing that goes on in the Star Wars community sometimes, where there's just a sense of intolerance and unacceptance, and I don't think we need that. I think I think these people are here doing the job to the best of their ability, and we should embrace them for that.
Yeah. Anytime there's a bad project, I never blame the actors. I mean, I might have problems with the characters, but the
Sure.
actors, they're literally just doing their job. They're there for the paycheck. I mean, would I like it if most of them, appreciated lore and all that, especially more of like the writer's side in Disney? Yeah, of course. And I'm always going to blame the executives and all that whenever they green light something that really shouldn't have been greenlit, or if something flops, it's like, okay, well, you guys just, that was really bad writing or something. Like, it's never, I'm gonna blame the actors or go after the actors, because it's just that
Yeah.
they don't deserve it.
Right. But there are people that do.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think there's any place for that, and hopefully that will get weeded out of the culture at some point. So,
Oh
we'll
yeah. Hopefully. So since you're I guess a OG Star Wars fan, what was your take going into the prequel era? Like whenever the Phantom Menace first
see.
came out?
Good
Because I
question.
know that
Actually,
was really hated when it first came out.
really,
The Phantom Menace,
yeah.
that was. I've seen a lot of videos of people just kind of not liking it,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Not me. I loved it. I mean, it was like what 16 years between movies. I mean, it was. I grew up in the time where there was no Star Wars. I mean, we had 3 incredible movies and then nothing for almost 20 years. So, I was super excited that they were going to make more Star Wars. And again, talking about favorite characters, I mean, Darth Maul. I mean, you can't get much more iconic than Darth Maul, and he was amazing. And I mean, yeah, it was a little different with all the CGI as opposed to the practical effects that I grew up with, but I was just stoked that they were making more Star Wars, and they were going to continue making more Star Wars, and they have done so for the last 26 years. So more Star Wars, that's good with me.
Heck yeah, that's great. So I'm assuming you've played a lot of the video games, if not all of them, if you're even into video games. If you have, what's your favorite Star Wars video game?
I haven't played many, actually. Like I said, I'm old, so I'm Atari 2600. I was kind of grown out of video games before the SNES came along. Got a little bit of that from my younger brother. So I'm aware of video games post ColecoVision and that kind of stuff. But the most recent one I played part of, and I didn't finish it, was Battlefront 2, I believe it was. Was that the one with the TIE fighter pilot story mode, I think? The one
if it's the original, I'm not too sure. I think there is one in the 2017.
Yeah, I think that was the last one I played.
I'm sure somebody in the chat over here will correct us.
Yeah, correct me. I know I'm wrong. So, yeah, make sure I'm fully educated. I guess the games I like the most are games like Metal Gear Solid. So I did play PlayStation. I got into PlayStation 2 a little later in life. So, but I like those kind of story games. Not so much the first-person shooter stuff. And I'm horrible at multiplayer. So it's got to be it's usually a third-person action shooter story mode where I can just go do my thing and hit my checkpoint.
You kind of sound like me with video games, man. Like, I'm terrible at online. I'd rather just play like a nice like story driven single player, like the third person view, like
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I wouldn't say it was my favorite game, but I remember there was like a fighting game, kind of like Street Fighter, but with Star Wars characters. I mean, that was fun. Uh, I can't remember what the name of it was or what system it was on. But I'd really like to get into Jedi Survivor and what's the other one? Fallen Order.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, and then the new one, Outlaws, looks fun, but I haven't had time to play any of those. So
Yeah,
I hear they're great though. I hear they're great. So.
Fallen Order is really good. The only issue is navigating your way back to the ship when you get done with missions. You can get lost very quick. So I'd suggest playing with a YouTube walkthrough.
I usually have to anyway. Yeah.
But I haven't played Survivor. I honestly I get in these random spurty moods of like I'm gonna play video games every day for like a month, and then like I never turn my TV or my Xbox back on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with these story games that I like, is that they take so long, and it's hard to just jump in and out.
Yeah.
So like me, like you, I tend to spend hours and hours, several days in a row, and then don't come back to it for months. So, but then a lot of the Star Wars games, I mean, you're asking me again, which ones I played. Most of the Star Wars games I remember were actually in a cabinet at the bowling alley. so I'm that old school. So I remember putting quarters into the machines to play whatever that little, I think it was like a Death Star run or something. And then later they had like a one where you could ride a speeder bike, I think, but it was all really analog graphics.
Yeah.
So, but they're all fun. I mean, it's just, I came along a little earlier than most. So.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Oh, I wish I could have played something like that growing up. I'm sure I did, but I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they had the big one that you could actually sit down in to drive whatever you're flying. And,
oh, dude, cool. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Got a compliment here in the chat. Let's go. Glad you got him on. Loved his art at ICCC.
Cool. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I got a lot of great feedback on the art. I was really appreciative of everyone that stopped by and said hi. And, I signed a few badges. That was pretty cool. Like I said, that was my first con appearance ever. So I'd never signed an autograph before. And just have people coming up and wanting to speak to me or have me sign something for them. That was really cool. And then to see like Warwick Davis walking around with my Wicket badge that I'd drawn, that was kind of mind blowing as well. So yeah, we had a great time.
How was it having all the celebrities wearing your art around their necks all weekend?
That was pretty sick. I mean, and I think they probably did it on purpose, that the guest badge was Wicket, and then they knew Warwick was going to be there. So you have Wicket wearing Wicket. That was pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, everybody I met was super cool, and I just really enjoyed seeing everybody wearing something that I created. It was a great project to be a part of. I'm glad it came off the way it did, and I'm glad everybody liked it. So
I hope you get to do it next year, because I want to add to this collection. And I literally have it hanging up on my display.
Sweet. Yeah, I would love to do it again. I know they get a different artist every year, so I don't expect to, and I don't necessarily think I should get to do it next year. But hey, if they ever want me to for anything else, I'm game. I'm ready to go. I've got tons of ideas.
Yeah, that's. I saw a couple of people walking around with a club badge, and I looked on your page, but I didn't see anything that kind of resembled what I saw on the badge.
On the club one, that was Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Okay.
And that was another cool thing, because there was a club who were all dressed up as Ghostbusters. and so they had the Slimer badge on their Ghostbuster outfits. That was pretty cool too.
Yeah, I swear it was. I don't know why, but I swear it was like a really like dark blue version of the
Mhm.
vendor badge.
Mhm.
But now I know it was Slimer. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I was searching like all through your page and ICCC's page, like trying to find it. I'm like, I think I'm just going crazy, and I didn't see the badge properly.
yeah.
That is the case.
I posted a picture of all the badges on Instagram, so you should be able to see it on there. And actually, that picture I sent you for the thumbnail should have it on there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now I know what I'm looking for instead
Yeah.
of something that I completely made up.
Now that was slime. Super fun to draw too. All the slime and all that. He was fun.
My buddy Kyberford said his kid stole his badge because she loves Mikey from the Turtles.
There you go. Yeah, it's always fun to hear whose favorite, whose character is their favorite, because it varies so much. I mean, the last day after not hearing anybody talk about Orko, I had like 4 or 5 people just wanting the Orko badge or the Orko print or whatever, and yeah, and I think a lot of the vendors were kind of disappointed that Orko was there on their badge, but Orko was fun to draw too. And then there's a lot of people that actually ended up liking him. So I think there was someone for every badge at one point or another. So it just depended, who was your favorite.
Dude, heck yeah, that's awesome.
So
I'm really glad that your art got exposed, and I'm really glad that you had a great time at ICCC.
Yeah. Did you get the badge you wanted?
Yeah, I applied for press and I got press, and my buddy told me that it was Sebulba, and I was like, "Oh, sick!" And then I saw my buddy post a picture of it because I had to pick mine up at the convention.
Mm.
I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, okay."
Yeah, it turned out to be pretty popular. I think there was a lot of people wanting that one as well.
Yeah, my buddy was trying to trade me one of his vendor badges for it. I'm like, no, get out of here, bro.
Well, I don't know if they'll have any left, but hopefully at some point they might have some leftovers that they'll throw up for sale at the. I was able to get it. Yeah, I was able to get a set from last year, which was pretty cool too.
My buddy says Chopper, he thinks was his favorite. The Chopper one was pretty sick. I mean, who doesn't love Chopper? That's everybody's favorite war criminal.
Yeah, I think that one turned out really good, and no surprise, the ICCC kept it for themselves. That was the staff badge. So.
Oh, that was a staff badge? Oh,
yeah.
Man. Yeah. I might have to hit up Michael, see if he's got any extras. Well, since I brought up the Star Wars books earlier, what's your favorite Star Wars book?
Well, actually, I don't read any of the novels per se. Most of my Star Wars books are the behind-the-scenes kind of stuff. I'm an artist, so mostly the art of Star Wars type of books is kind of what I'm drawn to. Probably my very favorite one is, I'm not sure if I have it laying around or not, but there's like a sketchbook of like concept drawings from, I think, Return of the Jedi. So you have like the first appearance of the speeder bike and that kind of stuff. All those behind the scenes drawings, and like the making of Empire Strikes Back, where they show all the stop motion stuff that they were doing with the Tauntauns and the speeder bikes and the AT-ATs. And by the way, it is AT-AT. I'm that old. So.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. It is AT-AT. That's how I've always pronounced it. And if you say AT-AT, I'm sorry. No, get out of here.
Technically, AT-AT is probably correct, but for me, it's AT-AT. But yeah, most of the behind the scenes type stuff. I've got some Ralph McQuarrie books that are incredible.
I got a little pocket version of the concept art.
Yeah, I've got that, but then I've also got these massive books that weigh like 40 pounds, and they're incredible. I mean, just has all the stuff that he did for Star Wars. And
Have you gotten the archives books?
I have one of those. I think I have the black one.
Yeah,
I need to get that one.
Yeah, I need to get the originals.
Yeah.
The prequels one, that oh my god, it's got so much stuff. Like my brain really can't contain it.
Yeah, give me behind the scenes drawings and concept art. I mean, even from the new guys like Doug Chang and Christian Altman and Brian Matis, and I'm going to forget somebody, but even the new guys are incredible. Anton Grandert did a lot of stuff on Book of Boba Fett. It's just, I love that the tradition has continued. I mean, there's really been no drop off in the production, from character development, vehicle design. They've just ramped it up from production to production, and it's as good now as it ever was. And that's the stuff I love.
Yeah, I love. I ever since I've gotten in contact and kind of became friends with Roger Christian, I've really started like diving into a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, like for mainly like props and all that. And
right.
I don't know how you guys come up with stuff like that. I mean, like even like artists and stuff. Like I told you, I can draw maybe a 1 out of 10 sketch of Anakin's lightsaber, but like I mean, something like Sebulba, I'm never gonna do. Like looking at a random flash handle and being like, yeah, that's the Excalibur of the Star Wars universe. Like I just don't get it. But I mean, everybody's brain works differently because I mean, I could sit there 5 minutes, come up with a way better storyline than a lot of the projects that I've seen lately. But
well, and sometimes you just run into guys like that are geniuses. And I think there's been a very large number of geniuses that have come through the Star Wars universe, and we're all better for it. I mean, they've made a world that is just incredible, and I love them for it.
Yeah, that's a great. So, what's your favorite art piece that you've done, or print, or sorry, I'm not used to interviewing artists. I'm not sure the terminology.
Well, honestly, I don't have a whole lot. I mean, this was really one of my first professional gigs, was the badge art for the ICC Con. I will say the one thing that I remember the most about the work I've done over the past 50 years of my life. I mean, when I was 10 years old, actually I was probably 9 because it happened in 1980. I had just finished taking my first round of oil painting classes. And sorry, this is not Star Wars related in any way.
Hey, you're fine, man. Go for it.
But the piece of art I remember the most was an oil painting I did that my grandmother had requested of a field of bluebonnets. And the reason I remember it so vividly is that she wanted me to paint it to put in her coffin when she died, which happened in 1980. It was crazy. I mean, it was just after I had learned to paint, basically. So the very first real painting I'd done on my own was a landscape that my grandmother wanted in her casket when she was buried. So certainly not the best work I've ever done, being 9 years old at the time, but probably the most meaningful. And I mean, that was almost 50 years ago, and I still remember that request, and remember being at the funeral and seeing my painting there in the casket with her, which it was buried with her. And I don't know how long they last, but it could still be there today. So so that would probably be my most meaningful work that I've done. Yeah, we'll go with that.
That that's beautiful. I really don't know what else to say to that other than that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I still remember fondly. You know, at the time, I didn't quite understand. Like, okay, why do you want to paint him in your casket? You know, it didn't make sense to me, but I understood that it meant something to her, and I've only grown to appreciate it more and more as I've grown older. So I get it now.
Yeah, that like I said, that's really all I could say about that. Is it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh, I really don't know how to follow something like that up.
All right, well, who's your favorite Star Wars character? Oh, we already did that. Yours is Anakin. Never mind. That was a horrible segue.
um, we got two questions here in the chat. One from my buddy Brick Creations and Collectibles.
Okay.
What are some projects that you have coming up?
I can't talk about much, unfortunately. I do have a couple of things in the works. I'm hoping to attend another con in August, Rebel Scum Con in Frisco, Texas, which is just outside of Dallas a little bit. That's kind of my local con. I'm in Texas, so I'm at least hoping to have a table there. Um, there are a couple of other projects not related to that necessarily that I can't really speak on. But as far as going to that show, I'm hoping to have some new prints available, more tailored to the guests that they're going to have. So I think we're going to try to work up a Plo Koon print.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe a Darth Maul because Sam Witwer is going to be there. I already did a Bo-Katan, but I think Katie Sackhoff is going to be there as well. So a lot of stuff geared towards the specific guests they're going to have. I'm hoping to have prints and that sort of stuff available. That's kind of what I'm focusing on right now.
Dude, that's awesome. I hopefully you'll post some pictures of that Plo Koon print because that yeah, just go ahead, take my wallet, man. I'm gonna buy up every single one.
Oh yeah, you're the prequel fan. I forget that. Yeah, Plo Koon's cool. He'll be cool in any era.
Yeah, Plo Koon is just like, I mean, he's like top 10 Jedi in my opinion, all just from that one. I don't know if you've seen the Clone Wars, but the one scene where like there's a bunch of clones and they're like, yeah, we're just meant to be expendable, and he's like, yeah, not to me. I'm like, yes, you are like top tier Jedi, and oh man.
Well, from an artist's perspective, he's really cool. I mean, he looks cool. He is super hard to draw.
Yeah, I can imagine
that whole face thing. It's so intricate, and I think I pulled it off. But yeah, it's tough for sure.
Oh man, yeah, I can't wait to see it. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, just stay tuned to IG, Instagram, anything I do, I'll post there for sure.
Heck yes. Kyber Forge would like to know, where do you get your inspiration from?
Well, a lot of it's Star Wars, obviously. Pop culture, a lot of it. I mean, the whole idea behind the badges for ICCC was, what would I want to see in a badge if they were for me? And so the characters I drew are the kind of characters I'm interested in. The old 2D animation characters. The weird sci-fi creatures. Certainly a lot of that stuff. I mean, yeah, I mean that's probably where I get my inspiration from. Mostly is monsters, creatures. Anything weird. I'm not super into scary stuff, so most of my monsters, even though I like to draw monsters, they end up being cute rather than creepy. So I guess that's kind of my style. Yeah, so monsters for sure, cute things, put them together. That's kind of where I come from.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of a different approach to where I get my inspiration from my writing. I'll just sit there and kind of like watch something that like I think is like just really bad, like to the point where like I'm falling asleep and I'm like,
don't do that.
Yes,
Right.
inspiration. I'm gonna write something better.
Sure. Yeah, I
But
mean, there's tons of artists I look up to. I try not to emulate them per
yeah,
se. I don't want to copy anybody's style. But yeah, there's tons of artists that I get inspiration from daily. Um, but yeah, I mean, I kind of take pieces from lots of different places, and I mean, I think that's probably what all artists do. They have the things that interest them and the things that have imprinted on them throughout their life, and then they just kind of mash everything together, and it comes out as whatever their style is. And like I said, I think mine's cute, weird things.
oh, this next one isn't necessarily a question, but
Mhm.
from Galactic Cantina, I like that From Zero Linkin Park album on the shelf.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I liked Linkin Park before they added Armstrong. What's her name? Emily Armstrong, I think. Uh, yeah, they're just as good or better now. I mean, that CD is kind of amazing. So,
Yeah, I haven't. I've listened to Linkin Park. I'm more a fan of like the Chester stuff, but
mhm.
like when I say I'm more of a fan of that, I'm like 3 or 4 songs.
Give it a try. Emptiness Machine is pretty
Oh,
amazing.
I've listened to that song. I mean, I've kind of memorized it. Like
Yeah,
I heard it once on the radio, and I was like, "All right, YouTube added to the playlist."
yeah, yeah. We're glad we're getting some Linkin Park love out there.
Alright, so we'll get a couple more questions from the chat, and I got one more question, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. We asked that Galactic Cantina. What art style is your favorite to draw?
Well, that's kind of tough because you kind of draw what you draw. I mean, my style is what it is just because that's the way it comes out of my hand. Like I said, I like to draw cute, creepy little monster guys, uh, but most of I guess my comfort zone is like doing hand drawing with pencils, and then with ink pens and brushes and that kind of stuff. Something where I can get a lot of variation in line weight, go from very thin lines, thin light lines, to very thick, heavy, dark lines. Um, I think you'll see that in a lot of the badge artwork that I did as well. There's a lot of you know line variation in the pen ink work, um, which I then colored with alcohol markers. But
Especially in the Sebulba. I mean,
yeah,
he's got
yeah,
nothing but lines.
he's got a lot of detail, and I like that. I like using my line work to create lots of detail, and I guess you'd say that's probably what my favorite is to do, just because it's the thing that comes most naturally to me. Um, I think I would probably like to have a different style, which I think probably most artists would agree. You know, even the best artists don't really like what they do per se, because we can all see our own mistakes and our own things that we would like to make better or different, and so you just kind of have to go with it, and just accept that your style is your style, and you know that just happens to be mine. The line work heavy, kind of hand drawn, medium. That's what suits me the most, I think.
I like it. Yeah, there. I mean, I'm not very right now. I feel like I'm talking to Grand Admiral Thrawn at the moment. I just like know absolutely nothing about like this side of art. I mean, I know like music and
Hmm.
writing. I mean, it's all art, but like art. I have no idea what I'm talking about or
Yeah, you done pretty good. I mean, we got some good questions. I think a pretty good conversation about art.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, my buddy Galactic Cantina again. Favorite episode of Star Wars Visions? I'm assuming you've
I've,
seen it.
I've seen part of it. I've seen part of the first season. I haven't seen anything past that. I think I saw like the first 4 episodes of it. I don't. I'm gonna blow the title for sure. I don't know the title, but it's the black and white one where the Ronin. I think it may be called the Ronin.
I think it's just called The Ronin. I've
Yep.
I've only seen like one episode. I
Mhm.
think it was that episode, and I just couldn't get into it. I mean, anime is just not my thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I gave it a chance, and it just became more of a time thing that I just wasn't able to get back to it. Um, but yeah, I mean that one, I really thought the art style was pretty cool, and just the whole black and white vibe was something different that we hadn't seen in Star Wars before. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That'd be my favorite.
Heck yeah, yeah. I don't have anything to add to that conversation. I mean, I watched the Ronin episode. I was like, that was pretty cool, but I mean, I've tried since I was like 8 or 9. I mean, the most I've seen for anime, I guess, could be like Pokemon and Naruto. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. It's just not my thing. I mean, don't
Yeah,
get me wrong. I mean, the art style and like the animation looks great. I mean, Tartakovsky. I mean, I love the 2D Clone Wars, Samurai Jack. I've seen a couple episodes of the show Primal. I mean, dude's really good.
yeah. I did see more than the one episode, so I have something to compare it to, but not a lot. Yeah, I'm not well versed on anime as well, but Ronin was cool.
Original trilogy talks. Do you draw any inspiration from the old Star Wars Marvel comics?
Not specifically, although yeah, I've never been a huge comic reader. Although the thing that I remember about the Star Wars comics was whatever they call that. I can't think of the term for it right now, but the little box at the top left corner of the cover that has the logo and then usually has a picture and
Yeah.
like the price tag. Well, Star Wars had one, and it was like I think it was Luke Skywalker holding his lightsaber as their little mark on the front. And so a friend of mine and we took that and drew it larger, and then we just started drawing that over and over and over again. So until we could draw Luke Skywalker. So I don't remember much of the storyline. I just remember the cover and taking that little bitty image and making it, we spent summers just riffing on Luke Skywalker and based on that one tiny little 1-inch drawing on the cover of Star Wars comic books.
Dude, that's awesome. The little stories, man.
Yeah.
Like I love it. Like, oop, didn't mean to pull that up. That's awesome. That is I know I've probably sounded like a broken record, but like I genuinely mean it, man. Like that's awesome.
Well, thanks. I don't mind being awesome. That's great.
I got technically 2 more questions.
Sure.
Before we hop on out of here. What is your favorite Star Wars movie and show?
Again, like the characters, that's going to be tough to answer because there are multiple. In fact, I got interviewed while I was at ICCC, and that question came up, and I'll try to remember not to vary from that as much as I can. But for the longest time, growing up in the original trilogy era, Empire, hands down. And if push came to shove, Empire would still probably be my favorite of all. But lately, Rogue One is right up there with Empire as far as quality and storytelling, I think. So those kind of go back and forth. They're kind of right equal at the top of my list now.
Interesting.
I also love the Han Solo story.
Dude, I
don't think it doesn't get love like it should.
In my top 3 movies.
Yeah.
I mean, technically I guess top 2 because number 1 it constantly goes back and forth between Revenge of the Sith and Empire Strikes Back because Empire Strikes Back is the best movie of all
Mhm.
time ever made, period. And Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Uh, two completely different categories.
Mhm.
But Solo is right underneath them.
Mhm.
That movie took me by complete surprise. I don't know what it was, but it
Yeah.
just
Yeah. I think Solo is the most fun Star Wars movie. Yeah.
yeah, I mean it really is. It's just it it kind of reminds me of watching the original like just Star Wars, you know. It's
Right.
kind of like a space western, you
Hmm.
know. It's just
Exactly.
I kind of wish they didn't give him like a character arc, you know. I mean, he's supposed to have that in A New Hope, but
Yeah. We don't get to make it. We just get to watch it.
yeah.
But then, on the other hand, the new uh, Disney Plus stuff that's coming out, the Andor series is amazing. I mean, start to finish, both seasons are incredible. Um, I love them as much as the movies. Mandalorian is super fun. Um, I liked The Acolyte. I know a lot of people didn't. But yeah, I,
Yeah, I'm one of them, unfortunately.
yeah. Hey,
Episode
it takes
3,
us
it just
all.
they threw it out the window for me, man. Yeah, you made it too similar to Anakin and the Phantom Menace. And I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Conehead should not be there considering, the Sith have been extinct for a millennia.
no, I get the criticism and I understand it. I think the character of the Stranger is one of the coolest characters in all
Yes.
of Star Wars, um, and Manny Jacinto knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
So, so
Despite hating it, that the stranger, I want to see more of him.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It ah. There
But
see,
but
there's good things in the bad stuff that I don't
mhm,
like, and I'm able to pick that out, and
mhm,
I'm very glad because, I could easily just be like a Debbie Downer. I mean, I
sure,
kinda have been lately. I've just kinda looked back and I'm like, "Okay, why did I really enjoy this? Was it just because everybody else was?" And then I go back and watch, I'm like, "Yeah, it's still good, and, like, I had a good time with it, but, we can fix a little bit of things here, but
well, like I said earlier, I grew up in the drought
yeah.
when there had been Star Wars and then there was not Star Wars. So now that there is Star Wars, I probably accept it more willingly than some. Just give me more Star Wars.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at, but I'm also I like cautiously optimistic when they
Mhm,
announce stuff, mainly just because especially after talking with Roger Christian and like
mhm,
knowing all the stories behind the lightsaber and the times that he spent working on the original movies, and then for the first like 5 minutes, the Last Jedi to just chuck it over his shoulder, I'm like,
yeah, that hurt.
it just hurts my soul, man.
Yeah,
But I am able to pick out some good things, like for like Yoda being in that movie. I mean, I love Puppet Yoda, bro.
yeah.
I mean, I've loved that version of Yoda ever since Empire. I mean, not well, ever since I was a little kid. He kind of did get on my nerves because I'm like, bro, just train him. I know it's you. Just train him. but I'm glad that you know a lot of people that I've been talking to, they've been very like accepting
Mhm,
of a lot of the stuff, and everybody's entitled to their
sure.
own opinion. Nobody has to say that everything's good or everything's bad, but just be civil. Like, I mean, we've been able to have I mean, I absolutely despise the Acolyte. You like it. We've had a civil conversation. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. That's how it should be. I mean, I recognize that there's things in Star Wars that I'm not super crazy about, but just in general, that there is Star Wars. That we're continuing to tell these stories and explore new characters. They're not all going to be perfect, but we're still getting them, and I'm
oh
happy
yeah,
about
yeah. It could be a lot worse. It could be. I mean, sure, we might get like 10 bad projects and like 3 good projects, but we could be getting 0 projects. Like they could just be like, we're done and hanging the towel up. And
Yeah.
that's the day I honestly don't ever want to see. I mean, I want to
Mhm.
be able to show my kids Star Wars, and I mean, I'll always be able to show them the DVDs or something
Right.
like that. But say they come out with something that I have kids in the future and they get into Star Wars and they're super excited about it. I mean, I'm a sucker for them videos that I come across on Facebook of little kids going to Galaxy's Edge and meeting their characters, or going to conventions and seeing cosplays of their favorite characters. And
Yeah.
I mean, I don't ever want that to die.
Yeah, me either. Like I said, I'm an OG original trilogy guy. You're a prequel kid. We need something for the next generation and the one after that. They all need to have their own Star Wars experience. And
Yeah.
as long as they keep putting stuff out there, they're going to hit on some good stuff.
Well, I think the last question we will ask before we get out of here, which thank you for this amazing
Sure.
conversation. It's been fun talking to you, man,
It's,
and I hope we talk more in the future.
yeah, my pleasure. Anytime. I've had a lot of fun, and it's been a good conversation. I appreciate you asking me on.
Well, the last one would be any tips or words of wisdom for the people watching.
I'm assuming this is art related tips.
I mean, it could be anything, just words of wisdom.
Don't ask me for life advice. I'm not. I can give you some art tips, but it's really not specifically about art. It's just about don't quit, don't give up, get started, and keep going. Whatever it is you're doing, whether it's art, I guess you could apply that to life. Whatever you're interested in, put your time into it. Um, get something out of it, and once you get started, keep going. It's so easy to get discouraged and wonder if people are going to accept your art or whatever it is that you're making. Uh, don't worry about that. Just do your thing and keep doing it. And that, if you can do that, then you're on the right track, I think.
That that's really good. I love everybody's words of wisdoms at the end of this. You guys come up with a lot better things than I can.
Well, now hopefully I can do that. Um, it's it's hard to get started. So once you get started, don't stop.
Well, thank you, Mr. Steven, for joining me on this. This was a
Absolutely.
fantastic conversation. Thank you guys to all of you guys in the chat. I know I didn't necessarily pull up everything that you guys put in here, but
Yeah,
was mainly looking for the questions for Steven.
yeah, we'll do it again. Let's do it again sometime.
Oh, heck yes. I'm totally down.
Okay.
For the people that are still in here, you want to go ahead and tell them your Instagram and where we
Oh,
can find
sure.
you at again?
Yeah, you can find me my website, which, as bad as it is, any coders or graphic designers out there want to hit me up. My website is StephenMooreArt.com, and I'm at Stephen Moore Art on pretty much all of the social medias. Instagram's where I hang out most of the time. That gets shared over to Facebook, and I'm trying out some of the other ones. I'm not as good about posting on other places other than Instagram right now. So, but yeah, coders, hit me up. I need some help. You're my only hope.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you guys for watching, and may the force